Everyday life's happening. Some days are more eventful. Others, living protected with insurance you can depend on changes your life for the better. We insure the people and things you care about. Not Agency. We'll help you find the right coverage so when life happens, you have the right insurance protection for your family and business. When life happens, live protected. Agency for all your insurance needs.
Good morning and welcome to Radio Friends on Tuesday, May the 8th. We're going to talk about eating right and eating from the garden that we're growing right now. Jennifer Bean is with us, Central Missouri Academy of Nutrition and Dietitian. Good to have you here, Jennifer.
Good to be here. Thanks for having me, Paul.
And you came in and you said we're going to talk about building a better bowl. What do you mean?
Absolutely. Well, when we think of eating healthfully or eating from the garden, we can have these ideas that it's going to take a long time, or there's a lot of prep work, or if you don't eat it right then, right when you pick it, then it might not be the best. So that's what I'm talking about, is a way to make fast food from the garden. So when you need a quick meal or a quick lunch, what can you do?
Yeah. Well, you just go out to the garden and you pick a tomato and you eat it right there before you even get into the house.
Well, yes, that is the best way. I agree.
You know, I like to grow those little, they're called super sweet cherry tomatoes. Have you ever grown those?
I have.
Yeah. And those are like candy.
Yes.
You go out there to pick them, and half of them are eaten before you actually get back to the house.
Few things on earth are better than a vine-ripened tomato.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I agree. But how then do you take that to the office? That's the question. How do you take that for lunch? How do you have quick meals in the evening time? So yes.
Oh, okay, so you're going to tell us. How do you do that?
There's a very simple formula to build a better bowl, and then I'll show you how you can put that in a mason jar and take it to work with you.
Oh.
Or build a whole bunch on the weekend and take them every day for lunch.
Okay.
So the recipe will be, and I didn't come up with this on my own. You can find more of this on eatright.org, but specifically the Center for Science in the Public Interest, they have all of this information there as well.
Okay.
So you'll take about a cup to a cup and a half of whatever vegetables you like, your crunchier, heartier vegetables, your tomatoes, your cucumbers, about that much. Somewhere around a half a cup of whatever protein you like. Chicken that you grilled the night before, tofu, beans, any of those, and then about 2 to 3 cups of leafy greens. So that combination, whatever your favorites are.
And you put them in a mason jar?
Well, you can. So let's talk about that order. So that way you can have a salad to go, fast food on the go.
Uh-huh.
So the order you want to have, and this comes from, you can find several different places, but my favorite place with pictures is a blog called Hurry the Food Up. So you can go there and you can find with picture instructions on layering. So you put your dressing, whatever, a balsamic vinaigrette or a sesame ginger dressing. Put that on bottom, and then you
Of
put...
your mason jar.
Of your mason jar.
Okay.
Yep. And then you put whatever vegetables are kind of heartier and crunchier. Think about any salad ingredients that you would marinate. Cucumbers,
onions.
tomatoes, onions.
Yeah.
Perfect. Exactly.
Okay.
So that's the next layer. And then after that, you would put your proteins. So healthier proteins are going to be any fish or chicken, beans, tofu. But sometimes proteins can be eggs, can be
Hard-boiled
cheese.
eggs, right?
Yes.
Yeah, not a raw egg.
No,
Okay,
no
hard-boiled
Rocky
egg.
in here.
Yeah,
no.
okay.
So that would be the next layer. And then you would want to put on top of that anything that gets weird whenever it's on, when dressing's on it for too long, like your leafy greens or your seeds or nuts. And then you screw the cap on, stick it in your fridge.
Then when you want to eat it...
You turn it upside
turn
down
it
on the bowl.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And then, I got it. You don't eat it out of the mason jar.
No, you turn it outside down
Turn it
in your
upside
bowl.
down on the bowl, and then the salad dressing comes dripping down on top of it.
Sure does.
That's wonderful.
Isn't it? It's
Yeah.
amazing. It's a fast way you can do this prep work on the weekend and have all your healthy lunches lined up for you.
Okay, but how you can do it more than 2 or 3 days ahead of time? Because some
You
of that
can.
stuff- well, wouldn't that lettuce start to wilt within there with the tomatoes and everything?
Depends on which green you choose. Hardier greens, like your iceberg lettuces, your leaf
Oh, it'll
lettuces,
stay.
they'll be able
Okay.
to hold up for, but you're right, like arugula or spinach, that might get a little
Yeah,
weird.
I really
after a
like
couple
that
days.
idea. Thank you so much,
It's
Jennifer
my
Bean.
pleasure. Thanks
and
for having me
it wasn't,
on.
you didn't...
No, I can't take any credit for this
I wouldn't
one.
have known it. You could have said you did. But if people want more information on all of this and a lot more...
Absolutely. Eatright.org.
Okay, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Okay,
Thanks so
so
much.
if you want more information, just write it down. It's eatright.org, and you'll have this recipe and a whole bunch more ideas, right? Now look who snuck in here, Laurie Matthews. Then
Yes.
you've got to be here to tell us about the Postal Food Drive.
I am.
And Laurie Matthews, of course, Irene Haskins' daughter. That is your call to fame.
Yes, I'll always be known as that.
Even
That's
though
fine.
Irene is gone, we talk about her all the time.
Almost 5 years.
It's been 5 years now. Yeah.
Almost 6 years, actually.
You know, I've got her picture on my refrigerator.
She'd love that.
Yes, I know she would. it's a very young picture, a very young.
She'd really like that.
Of her at the Tribune. Every time I go to the refrigerator, hi Irene, how you doing? But anyway, Laurie is here to talk about the Postal Food Drive, which is coming up when?
This Saturday, May 12th.
And how does this work?
Well, last week you should have gotten a bag in the mail.
I didn't.
Well, you won't have it yet. But
Okay.
you never get it, do you?
Right, but for some people who live in the rural areas, you need to call
Correct.
and ask
You may
your
call
postmaster.
the postmaster. Hopefully the carriers will pick it up.
Okay. But if you're living in the city or areas where you should have received a bag in your
Correct.
mailbox.
Correct.
And then what do you do?
And the bags also have envelopes in it. So if you'd prefer to write a check or put money, the food bank can convert $1 to 20 pounds of food. Or you can clean out your pantry or buy canned food. It needs to be non-perishable, non-glass, because it gets thrown around a lot.
Okay, so canned goods
Right.
or cereal
Right.
or pasta, anything that can be put out by your mailbox and not be affected by the warmth.
The warmth or getting tossed several times.
Okay, so no ragu,
glass.
no ragu pasta
Right,
sauce. It's in
right.
glass because it'll be spilled all over the place.
Yes. Yes, it will. And put it out at your mailbox by 9 o'clock. Everyone has volunteers that help them. So it may not be your carrier that picks it up, but each carrier has their own volunteers because we're still delivering the mail. And it's a lot of extra time.
Now, if you live in a rural area and you were not given a bag and you want to donate, can you put a bag of food out? Is the mail carrier going to know what this is?
Yes, yeah. Every mail carrier in the country, I believe, knows that the second Saturday in May is the food drive.
Okay, how many pounds of food are you hoping that you will collect?
Well, last year, between the money and the food, because they convert money to $1 to 20 pounds, we got 1.2 million pounds of food.
Oh, that's fantastic.
In the Columbia area, and it all goes to local food banks. It stays right here, and it's really amazing how quickly they go through that.
And keep in mind that if you want to give money, $1 will buy 20 pounds of food
Correct,
with the food bank.
because they buy it in bulk.
So it really is better if you're thinking about going out and buying food and putting it in a bag. It would make more sense just to give the cash.
Right. I mean, what I've done several years are things I've bought and thought, oh, I'm going to try this. I might like this, or it was on sale, and then I don't use. It's like my yearly clean out my pantry.
Okay, and then and you can give cash too.
And cash.
All right.
Correct.
Laurie Matthews, thank you so much for coming by and
You're welcome.
keeping us updated on the Postal Food Drive coming up on Saturday, May the 12th.
Yes.
Always a pleasure to have you here.
It's good seeing you
Okay.
again.
Out of time for today. Tomorrow we're going to talk about organ and tissue donation. If there's something you'd like to hear or see, I'd love to hear from you. Drop me an email, pepperpmissouri.edu, and go out and be nice to each other today. See you then. Bye-bye.